Here is a number that quietly reprices nuclear power. The US government offers a production tax credit that effectively backstops a nuclear plant's revenue near $43.75 a megawatt hour. Now, Microsoft signed a 20-year deal to buy power from Constellation's restarted Crane nuclear plant. The price was never disclosed, but Wall Street analysts estimated at somewhere around $110 a megawatt hour. So a hyperscaler agreed to pay roughly double the tax credit floor, and well above what wholesale power costs. This is not a call on Constellation stock. It is a sharper question. What exactly is Microsoft paying that premium for? Let's take it apart. And be careful with each number, because one of them is only an estimate, and the other is not really a price. Start with that $44 number, because it is the one people get wrong. It is not a price the government pays Constellation. It is a production tax credit, and critically, it faces down as the plant earns more. The way the rule works, when wholesale power prices are high, the credit shrinks towards zero, and when prices crash, the credit kicks in and tops the plant's revenue back up toward roughly $43 to $44 a megawatt hour. In other words, it is downside insurance, a floor under a bad year, not a guaranteed selling price in a good one. So picture that floor around $44 as the government protecting the plant from very low prices. It is not the number anyone actually sells power at, and it is definitely not what Microsoft agreed to pay. Now, the deal itself, and hold this loosely because the 20-year contract price was never disclosed. Everything here is an analyst estimate. Jefferies pegged it around $110 to $115 a megawatt hour. Morgan Stanley's estimate was closer to 98. Call it roughly 110. Now compare that to the two reference points we actually have. The tax credit floor is around 44. Typical wholesale power in that region runs in the 40s to low 50s. And Microsoft agreed to pay something like 110, more than double the floor and well over the going market rate. That gap, call it $60+ a megawatt hour above the floor, is the premium. And the entire question of this video is what that premium actually buys. So what does a hyperscaler get for paying double? 3 things a data center desperately needs. First, firmness. A nuclear plant runs around the clock at full output, unlike solar or wind, which stop when the sun sets or the wind drops. An AI data center runs 24/7, so it needs power that does too. Second, it is carbon-free, and it can be matched hour by hour, which lets Microsoft make a far stronger clean energy claim than buying renewable credits after the fact. And third, it locks in a fixed price for 20 years on dedicated output in a market where power is getting scarce and expensive. Firm, clean, and price certain for 2 decades. That bundle, not the electrons alone, is what the premium over the floor is really paying for. Now the 2 asterisks, because this story has them. First, that $110 price is an estimate. The actual contract terms are private, so treat the premium as a well-informed guess, not a fact. Second, the plant still has to come back online. Constellation is targeting a 2027 restart of the Crane plant, the old 3 Mile Island Unit 1. But the grid operator initially flagged that the connection might not be ready until 2031. A federal regulatory waiver later put the 2027 goal back on the table. So the premium math rests on an estimated price and a restart that still has to clear a real timeline risk. Meta signed a similar 20-year nuclear deal in Illinois. So the pattern is real, but every one of these numbers deserves that asterisk. So what would actually confirm that this premium is a real, durable scarcity price and not a one-off? 3 things to watch. 1. Does the Crane restart actually hit its 2027 target, or does it slip back toward that 2031 grid risk? A plant that comes back on time turns the estimate into real cash flow. 2. Do more hyperscalers sign nuclear deals at similar premiums? Meta already has. If Amazon, Google, and others keep paying double the floor for firm nuclear, then the premium is a market price, not a fluke. And 3. Any actual disclosed price, which would finally replace the estimate with a fact. Restart on time, plus repeat deals at the premium, that is what turns this from a clever estimate into a confirmed re-rating of what firm nuclear is worth. So, back to where we started. A tax credit that floors this nuclear plant's revenue near $44. Insurance, not a price. And a Microsoft deal estimated near 110, a real premium, if the estimate holds and the plant restarts on schedule. The single most useful way to read the whole nuclear and AI trade is right there in that gap. The premium a hyperscaler will pay over the government's downside floor for firm, around-the-clock, carbon-free power. So watch 2 things: whether that premium repeats with other buyers and whether these plants actually come back online. This is educational analysis of public deals and filings, not investment advice. And remember, the headline price here is an estimate. Verify every number yourself before you act on any of it.